Well, there's a lot of you, sorry. I've been sat with my back to you all, so I haven't been able to see too. Good morning, everyone. Bore da pawb. Thank you, Dawn, for that lovely introduction, and also to Dawn and Zoe for what's been, I think we can all agree, a really informative and inspiring morning. I think from the people that have spoken already, we can tell that there's a real sense of optimism and positivity surrounding the future of our city. So I've been invited to talk to you today about positive news and the role that local media plays in that. Now, you may wonder why that's important. So I thought I'd share with you a few of the headlines used by some of the mainstream media when talking about our city. Buckle in. Crime and antisocial behaviour blighting Swansea city centre. High street struggles as shops close across Swansea. Residents speak out of disorder in Swansea neighbourhoods. Concerns raised about decline in Swansea nightlife. Drug-related crime rising across our city. Swansea named among the worst places to live in Britain. And can Swansea ever shake off its pretty, excuse me kids, shitty city image? It doesn't make for easy listening, does it? The one that always sticks out for me is that pretty, I won't say it again, city line. And if you've seen the film Twin Town, you'll no doubt know where that comes from. But it's one of those cultural references that has stayed with our city for some time. And alongside that, many of the headlines from our mainstream media focus on crime, decline, or all that is difficult in the place that we live. And when that narrative is shared often enough, they can begin to shape perception. And yet, is that the whole story of who we are as a city? The Swansea many of us experience every day is full of creativity, generosity, growth, regeneration, innovation, humour, and resilience. Our city is filled with people starting businesses from scratch, supporting charities, building communities, volunteering, undertaking scientific research, and making medical breakthroughs, and quietly doing extraordinary things. But many of those stories are not always making the headlines. So I started to tell them. So for those I haven't met, my name is Natalie Wright, and I'm the founder of the Swansea Edit magazine. We are a completely independent, glossy lifestyle and community magazine dedicated to celebrating the city and the people who make it what it is. The magazine began last year as what I often describe as a love letter to Swansea, not in a kind of whispering sweet nothings into its ear way, but a gentle reminder of how incredible our city truly is. Our city is not perfect. I think we all know that, because no place is. But my intention was simply to tell the story of our city in a more positive, fuller, and hopefully balanced way. Because the stories we tell about a place really do matter. They shape how people feel about living here. They influence pride, identity, and even belief in what is possible for our communities. And when people hear only negative narratives about where we live, the confidence can slowly be eroded. So positive storytelling does the opposite. It helps people recognize the creativity around them, the generosity, and the energy that exists within our communities. Working on the magazine has given me a front row seat for that, if you'll pardon the pun. I've met founders building businesses with incredible determination. I've spoken to charities who are doing life-changing work across our city. Many of them are deeply rooted in devastating loss themselves. And I've discovered creatives and community leaders whose passion for Swansea is truly inspiring. And these are not always the loudest stories or headlines shared by our mainstream media. They're the quieter ones, yet they are the stories, I believe, that truly define a place. There's a well-known line from Dylan Thomas describing Swansea as an ugly, lovely town. And I think there's something beautifully honest in that description. Places, like people, are layered. They evolve, they experience challenges, while also holding extraordinary strengths. And within those layers, there is creativity, community, and possibility. Positive local media isn't about pretending everything is perfect, but it is about redressing that balance. It's about recognising those challenges while also celebrating the people and ideas shaping a hopeful future for our city. And when those stories are shared, something powerful happens. A local business is discovered and supported. A charity finds new volunteers, or someone reads about an initiative and decides to get involved. So positive stories create positive momentum. They remind us that we're part of a community that is constantly building and evolving. And local media also plays another important role. We act as a bridge between the communities we live in. Local media, for example, are not distant observers reporting on a place from the outside. We live here. We walk the same streets, we support the same businesses, and we care deeply about the same outcomes for our city. That closeness creates a different kind of storytelling, one that feels rooted in place and grounded in the real experiences of the people who live here. Another important part of the local media is sharing positive stories that reflect the full community that lives here. Swansea is wonderfully diverse, and the story of our city should reflect the people who call it home. And seeing positive representation in local media strengthens the connections between communities and fosters a sense of belonging. That's why conversations like the one we're having led today by For the Region are so very important. But this work isn't being done by one platform alone. For example, the Swansea Edit is simply one voice among many. Across our city, there are many other positive platforms, such as our friends as Swansea Positive, Swansea Scoop, Swansea Spotlight, Brand Swansea. There are hyper-local magazines, there are independent radio stations, and community initiatives celebrating what is good about the place in which we live. But together, those voices contribute to something much, much bigger. They help shift the narratives and raise the profile of our city, not only beyond Swansea, but perhaps more importantly, within our own local psyche. So at the start of my talk, I shared with you some of the more negative headlines from the mainstream media. But before I finish, I just wanted to share some of our headlines and those of other local outlets when talking about our city. Local founders building businesses that put Swansea firmly on the map. Young voices, big impact, and what an impact they've made today. Swansea's next generation shaping the future of our city. Community, creativity, and courage. The people quietly transforming Swansea. Local volunteer Michael's story of dedication and community spirit. Volunteers across Swansea come together to support families in need. New community initiative creating opportunities for young people across our city. Local businesses champion collaboration to strengthen Swansea's economy, and celebrating the people who make Swansea a city of compassion and creativity. Now you'll see from those headlines, there are themes of community, courage, creativity, and hope. And that's important, because the way we talk about a place influences how people feel about living here. And our city deserves to be spoken about with pride. And for me, the Swansea Edit will always be a love letter to Swansea. And our city is not defined by those negative headlines written about it. It's defined by the people who wake up every day determined to make it a better place. And those are the stories worth telling. Diolch.